Dear and honored Papa, Dr. Bracknett has just desired me to write you. He says if I do, you will bring me home a watch, laced hat, sword, and pistol. I have endeavored to be a good boy ever since you have been gone, have attended school and minded my book. My dear Mamma and brother and sisters are well. I have a fine little sister since you have been gone. I want to see you much. Hope it won't be long before I shall have that pleasure. It will afford the greatest happiness to your most dutiful son, Henry Thurburn Langdon.
Camp before York in Virginia, 21 October, 1781. I have had the honor of receiving several letters from Your Excellency since your departure from America, which I have duly answered and hope you have received them. Your ideas of the necessity of some important blow to the British power in the southern states were extremely just. The reasons are too obvious to be mentioned. I am happy, my dear sir, in having it in my power to announce to you the joyful event of the reduction of Lord Cornwallis and his whole force in Virginia. This important affair has been effected by the most harmonious concurrence of circumstances that could possibly have happened. A fleet and troops from the West Indies under the orders of one of the best men in the world, an army of American and French troops marching from the North River 500 miles, and a fleet of Comte de Barras from Rhode Island, all joining so exactly in point of time as to render what has happened almost certain. I shall not enter into a detail of circumstances previous to the collection of our force at Williamsburg, 12 miles distant from this place, which was made on the 27th. On the 28th, we marched to this camp, and on the 29th and 30th, we completed our investiture of York. A body of American militia, the Duke Lezon's Legion, and some Marines from the fleet of Comte de Grasse, at the same time formed the vicinity of Gloucester so as to prevent any incursions of the enemy into the country. On the evening of the 6th, we broke ground, and began our first parallel within 600 yards of the enemy works undiscovered. The first parallel, some redoubts, and all our batteries were finished by the 9th at 2 o'clock p.m. The gallant troops of France under the orders of Baron Vivemony and the hardy soldiers of America under the Marquis de Lafayette attacked and carried them both in an instant. This brilliant stroke was effectual without any great loss on our side. The enemy lost between 100 and 200. On the 16th, just before day, the enemy made a sortie and spiked up some of our cannon, but was soon repulsed and driven back to their works. The cannon were soon cleared, and the same day our batteries in the second parallel began to fire and continued on without interruption until 9 o'clock on the morning of the 17th October. The firing continued until 2 o'clock, when commissioners on both sides met to adjust the capitulation, which was not finished and signed until 12 o'clock on the 19th. Our troops took possession of 2 redoubts of the enemy soon after, and about 2 o'clock the enemy marched out and grounded their arms. Henry Knox.
Boston, August 23rd, 1777. My dearest friend, I wrote you a line by the last post, just to let you know I was alive, which was all I could then say with propriety, for I had serious thoughts that I never should see you again. So much was I reduced by only 4 days of illness. But by help of a good constitution, I am surprisingly better today. I am now to answer your 3 last letters in one, of which you ask for a history of my life. It is, my love, so barren of adventure and so replete with repetition that I fear it will afford you little amusement. However, such as it is, I give to you. In the first place, I rise about 8 in the morning. A late hour, you will say, but the day after that is full long for a person in my condition. I presently after sit down to my breakfast, where a page in my book and a dish of tea employ me alternately for about an hour. When after seeing that family matters go on right, I repair to my work, my book or my pen, for the rest of the forenoon. At 2 o'clock I usually take my solitary dinner where I reflect upon my past happiness, when I used to sit at the window watching for my Harry, and when I saw him coming my heart would leap for joy when he was at my own, and never happy for me, when the bare thought of 6 months' absence would have shook him. To divert Alex's pleas, I placed my little Lucy by me at table, But the more engaging her little actions are, so much the more do I regret the absence of her father, who would take such delight in them. Poor me, my heart is ready to burst. You who know what a trifle would make me unhappy can conceive what I suffer now. When I seriously reflect that I have lost my father, mother, brother, and sisters, entirely lost them, I am half distracted. True, I cheerfully renounce them for one far dearer to me than all of them, but I am totally deprived of them. I have not seen him for almost 6 months, and he writes me without pointing at any method by which I may ever expect to see him again. 'Tis hard, my Harry. Indeed it is. I love you with the tenderest, the purest affection. I would undergo any hardship to be near you, and you will not let me. Suppose this campaign should be like the last, carried into the winter. Do you intend not to see me in all that time? Tell me, dear, what your plan is. Adieu, my love. Lucy Knox.
Sweet cream Jesus, oh country fresh Jesus, unsalted Jesus.